And Chief of Police for the Evansville Police Department, Philip Smith, joins us this morning. I will mention that he has dad duties before he puts that uniform on each day. He has dad duties to complete, and you were just a little bit behind today.
Yeah, running a little bit behind.
Yeah, but just like ordinary parents would have those issues pop up, you had to respond.
It's picture day.
Oh, it's picture day.
It's picture day.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it takes a little while to get hair together, even though I don't do the hair, but it takes a little longer to.
Well, we appreciate you being here this morning with us. Okay, Halloween, it's just a few days away. We want to talk a little bit about the safety tips that you guys recommend. So let's start with parents and the trick-or-treaters themselves. What should they be on the lookout for? What should they stay aware of?
Well, the first thing is knowing that it gets a little darker earlier. So we're starting to get dark around like 5:30 or so. So making sure that you have, reflective gear, because some of these costumes that the kids have are, they're not built for being seen and illuminated at night. So driving your kids to a neighborhood instead of having them walk on a busy street to get to a neighborhood is something that I recommend. And being in a neighborhood that's well lit and knocking on doors with your kids and not just sending kids out alone to trick or treat. The times are a little bit different than when we were growing up. So, just being present with the kids is one thing, and I know our community enjoys, our spooky trick-or-treaters coming to the door.
And some communities even have like designated times that they get out and do this because it is safer to do so. Does your strategy or your department's strategy change when it's like, Halloween on a weeknight compared to a weekend? A little bit more of a party atmosphere on those Friday and Saturday Halloweens, but Thursday night kind of offers some leeway for folks on Friday.
What I've come to learn is that the adults do a good job of kind of celebrating like the weekend before.
Yes.
And then the kids, take Halloween. So we haven't, had to change any strategies, but definitely being aware that, the radio may be a little bit busier with people, complaining about people coming to their door or anything like that. But that doesn't have to change any strategies.
Now, for folks like myself, so I'm not trick-or-treating yet. The baby's still not here yet. But for folks like myself that might be handing out the candy or just simply coming home from work, what should they be on the lookout for? On Halloween night?
Just, again, paying attention to see if kids are alone, making sure that, there's not, adults that are just walking around by themselves. If they're walking around by themselves, ask them, do you have a child that's with you? Why are you out and about trick-or-treating? Just some of those things. We always say, if you see something, say something, excuse me. If you see something, say something. So if you see something that looks suspicious, something that looks out of place, just call. I mean, it's no hurt or harm on us to come check it out.
And of course, Halloween's very predictable each year. The same safety tips, it seems like, but there's another predictability when it comes to colder weather. We have a lot of vacant homes in Evansville. Some homes are abandoned. They're in nice neighborhoods where all the other, the neighborhood's full of people, but there may be that one or two houses in an area that may be abandoned. This leads to folks coming inside those homes late at night, perhaps other properties, warehouses, starting fires for warmth, and then of course things get out of hand and all of a sudden we have a house on fire 5 feet from another house that's occupied by a family. So when it comes to that and the risk, we see this increase every year as far as the house fires. What can people look for, not only at night, but during the day, the suspicious activity? There could be other activity going on those homes. So what's your tip or the suggestion you have for residents?
Being hyper vigilant as a neighbor, and we have neighborhoods and neighbors that do a good job of knowing who's who, where's where, what cars belong and what don't belong. I know, I can look in my neighborhood right now, I can tell you who belongs where. And the same thing in these neighborhoods that have homes that may be vacant. So just being cognizant of that, the comings and goings, and especially at those properties. I tell you what, technology has helped us out a lot, like with the Ring doorbells. And we can see people going in and out, and that helps a lot, especially in investigations and arson investigations when we work with the fire department. So, we do know that it's going to be a little colder, and those activities do kind of tend to go up in the wintertime. But we're on top of, making sure that putting the information out there for neighbors is our responsibility.
And you mentioned if you see something, say something, whether it's for any event, if folks have a tip or they want to, just call you guys to notify you of something, should they call 911, the actual emergency line, or do you guys actually have a tip line that they can call for maybe non-emergency tips?
Well, there's a non-emergency dispatch number as well, and you can call the tip line that we have at the Evansville Police Department. If you get on our website at evansvillepolice.com, you can find the non-emergency tip line.
Perfect, because that'll be a lot easier then.
And I imagine the nuisances you deal with on, or of course they're predictable, on the 4th of July, the festivities surrounding that, and of course the Halloween festivities too. It does offer a crime or an opportunity for crime, or masks can be unwelcomed in banks and places like that during this time of year. So thank you for coming in and kind of explaining some of that to us and what your department does to navigate, because it can be a little tough, and the darkness, and they have all these costumes. And
well, I just hope it stays dry for the kids.
Yeah,
we're hoping that too. Will you be out trick-or-treating as well?
No, but I will be giving out candy. Me and my wife and my daughter, we always love doing that.
Good.
So we'll be standing out handing out candy.
Good dad and Chief of Police for the Evansville Police Department, Philip Smith, with us once again on this beautiful Monday. We have news headlines coming up in just a few minutes. We'll also get a check of that forecast. I can assure you 70-degree weather today, Griffin says. So we're getting some good autumn weather. We'll be right back.